Howdy, Possum Patty here with Flat Stanley, and we have an adventure to share with you. And this one is kind of like a roundabout connected way. I'm going to explain it over at the table, but I kind of went from Beatrix Potter, who is a fave of mine because not only she's an artist, she was a naturalist and a bit of a farmer too, to Tasha Tudor, who is kind of like America's Beatrix Potter, and a lot of people don't know about her. So I'm going to talk about her a little bit. And somehow I got from this book, the author of the book, who is Tova Martin, to a local greenhouse, to a Stanley adventure. Come on along. I am going to connect Stanley's adventures today by going through this pile of books, and I'll show you my thinking. Always a big fan of Beatrix Potter. I love her artwork. I think it's precious. I bought this book just to have the illustrations to cut up and use as ephemera and illustrations in my journals. And you know, Chinese New Year is coming up very soon, and it is going to be the year of the rabbit. So I'm sure these little bunny pictures will be showing up a lot in 2023. Look at this, is adorable. All right, so I have this big book that I used to cut up of Beatrix Potter. Now this isn't, you know, any kind of original edition or anything, just one I bought. And let's see, to use to cut up. And I'm looking for the date here. I'm not sure. 1987. Oh, it is kind of vintage, isn't it? Okay. So I got very interested in Beatrix Potter, especially when I found out that she was a naturalist at her home on the countryside in England. And I bought this wonderful book about her home and her life. And there's real photographs of her in here. And her farm and her sheep. So this is a wonderful book if you are a Beatrix Potter fan, to learn more about the author of the Peter Rabbit books. She had beautiful gardens too. Look at this. Wonderful, wonderful book about her, her life, and her place, which was called Hilltop. So just about everybody knows Peter Rabbit and Beatrix Potter, but not everybody knows Tasha Tudor. Now, Tasha Tudor is the Beatrix Potter of the States. Yes, and this is another book I bought, used also. Wings from the Wind, an anthology of poems selected and illustrated by Tasha Tudor. Now, she also did these really cute little sketches. She loved corgis and children's pictures, and she illustrated children's books. Look at the illustrations in here, are gorgeous. These are all in black and white, but they're lovely little sketches. Look at this ship. Nice. I think I bought this one to cut up too and use in my journals. Maybe I'll use some of the poems too. Put them in there. So just very nice, all illustrated by Tasha Tudor. And this is one of her books, The Five Senses. And these drawings are in color. They might remind you a little bit more of Beatrix Potter's drawing, doesn't that? But this is in the States. She's an American. Look at that, isn't that sweet? She drew these little girls. Look at the little kittens there and the little corgis. Corgis were her favorite. And I have this book about the art of Tasha Tudor. And this shows more of her artwork in here. See, doesn't that remind you of Beatrix Potter, right? So this is another corgi. Corgis. She loves corgis. Here she is, Tasha Tudor. And here's a portrait of the cat. Look at those little illustrations are so precious. So anyway, so then I started learning more about Tasha Tudor. Oh, look at that. This isn't a book I'm going to cut up. No, this is a good one that I bought, but and this one I had. I think this one I bought to cut up. But. So then I found this book, and I was living in Pennsylvania at the time, and it was Tasha Tudor's Garden, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get that. And this is her place up in New England, and I think it's Vermont. Yeah, she's up in Vermont, not so far away. And this is Tasha Tudor in her later years. And so I got this lovely book about her garden and her animals, and there's real life she had corgis. And it was, I'm laughing because she built a house that actually is a replica of something, you know, that might be like 200 years old. And if you went there, you kind of felt like you were back in time. Now, I didn't go there in person, but just from reading the book. Look at those beautiful hollyhocks there. Are those hollyhocks? Nope, those are delphiniums. Wow, those are tall delphiniums. And there she is. Look at her. She got snowshoes. So anyway, so this is a wonderful book about Tasha Tudor and her garden and her animals and what she loves. I mean, it's just so magical where she lives. And she has since passed away, but she was alive when I got this book, when this book was written. Look at this. I mean, the photography is just gorgeous. This whole book is just gorgeous. So I would have loved to have met her and gone to her house and visited all these gardens. It would have been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Anyway, so you get to the back of the book, and I'm reading about the author. Her name is Tova Martin, and it talks about some books she has written. And it says that she is staff horticulturalist for Logie's Greenhouses in Danielson, Connecticut. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I grew up in Connecticut, lived a good part of my life in Connecticut, but then I was living in Pennsylvania. So I was like, oh, I got to get back to Connecticut and visit this Logie's greenhouse. Right? So did I ever do that? No, not when I thought about it. Okay, so then we did sell the farm in Pennsylvania and moved back to Connecticut. And then I forgot all about this, tell you the truth. And then I saw an ad in the paper. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I still got it. I saw the ad in the paper that said Logie's Holiday Lights Extravaganza in the Greenhouse. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get to Logie's. And I'm reading it. And it's like, this is only a few minutes away. I live so close to this. I've been here a couple of years, and I didn't even know it. Didn't think about it until I saw this ad, and I'm like, oh, Logie's, and all this other information in these books and everything just popped into my mind. So I told Mr. Possum that we had to take Stanley and go visit Logie's. So there's my connection, okay? So we went to Logie's greenhouse, and it is fruiting rare and tropical plants, and this is one of their catalogs. I could raise it up. I got my camera up pretty high because, you know, I'm going to get out the big journal. And this place is amazing, amazing. Okay, here's the Martins, Byron Martin and Laurel Lynn Martin, who are the owners. And there's a picture of them. You know what? I think he was there. He was there walking around. And I didn't know if that was the owner. Oh my gosh, I should have stopped and talked to him. I did stop and talk to somebody else, but, you know, I should have noticed that that was him. Of course, I didn't pick this catalog up till afterwards. And we wandered around here, and it is a greenhouse, and it's not a greenhouse, it's several greenhouses, and one is full of beautiful, huge fruiting lemon trees and orange trees and all kinds of tropical plants. And another house just has all these plants that are all had flowers on them. And they were selling along the edge of the greenhouse, like the flowers were kind of in the middle in most places. Along the edge of the greenhouse were tables where you can buy the plants that you see that were blooming there. One of the houses was full of ferns. But these are more tropical ferns, or I don't know if any of the ferns that they had in the greenhouse would survive outside here. But I'm thinking of getting one for in the house because they had my fave. Now, it was labeled mini fern or something. And I'm like, that's an ebony spleenwort. I just happen to love ebony spleenworts. Don't ask me why, but they're beautiful. Next time we go over, I'm probably going to buy one. They had the Venus flytraps and the pitcher plants and the what are they called? Dewdrop plants that all grow in a bog. And I haven't even looked through this. These are gorgeous. They had all the hibiscus. They had these there. But I'm going to show you the pictures. You don't have to look through the catalog with me. I mean, just gorgeous, beautiful, tropical, warm. And they just remodeled one of the greenhouses and sort of made a pathway through. And there were benches where you can sit down. And the staff were all friendly. There's a lemon tree. They had lots of lemon trees and things. Oh, there's olive, guavas, figs. I remember the fig trees. And this banana, the banana tree was there. I got a picture of the banana tree. So I'm just going to have to make a slideshow because I think I took like over 100 pictures. I mean, the place was just gorgeous, and I was just oohing and eyeing at the leaves and the foliage and the flowers. And they had these things called ponderosa lemons, which were, I mean, they were bigger than grapefruits. They were huge, 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 huge. And then what are these? These are all orchids and things. Okay, so, oh, look at this. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So, this is stuff you can buy. But it was so fun. I guess you can order this stuff and they'll send it to you. Grower since 1892. So, yes, so we went. We took a lot of pictures. I talked to somebody. His name was Roger. And he was saying that, I asked him, you know, I talked to him a little bit. I told him about, you know, I had Tova's book. And he says, oh, Tova still comes by once in a while and visits, but she doesn't work there every day now. And that, yeah, I told him that I like to journal, I like to sketch plants. And he said that I would be welcome. I could come anytime and sit and sketch in the greenhouse. I was like, yay, yes. So we will be taking some nature journaling field trips to Logie's greenhouse. So you're going to become quite familiar with that, that's for sure. All right, I'm going to move these books out of the way and go get my journal. Well, you know I'd love to print out all 142 pictures, but obviously we can't. So Here is one of me out in the front. I'm holding Stanley over here by the sign. I know he looks kind of tiny there in front of Logi's. I thought I'd print out one of me there. And then, you know, Stanley was pretty good. He only disappeared once, and when I found him, he was hiding behind a plant. Look at this. He found dinosaurs. And this seemed to be one of his favorite things at the greenhouse were the terrariums. And they sell a lot of little plants to put in terrariums. And this one was his fave, of course, because it has dinosaurs in it. And I might print out another picture or two. I'm not sure yet. But I was flipping through this book because I thought maybe because of the connection that I would put in an illustration by Tasha Tudor. And it does have some colored illustrations. Now, the beginning of each section has a color illustration, which I must have skipped over. It's like that one. I love this one. Nonsense. You know this one's going in my journal. I don't know which journal yet, but this one's going in my journal for sure. Like it's got beetle and salamander there. Anyway, so I cut this out. Let me throw that on the floor. I got a pile of stuff on the floor. And I thought I would use this as a border. Now, I'm putting this in my very large December daily. Oh, when did we go? Wait, stand by. We went on, let's see, I think it was just before Christmas, December 18th. So this is December 18th. We went over to the greenhouse. And then I think they closed for the holiday, but they'll be open again. And I'm ripping out the middle, and I thought I would use this like a frame. And I'm going to do a little bit more ripping here, and I'll be right back. This is my December daily, Christmas in July, monster journal. And I did that page, and I did that page, and I did that page, and I did that page. I did that page, and I did that page, and I did that page, and I did that page. So I guess I've got quite a bit done in December. Something I want to put on that page, so we're going to skip by. All these other pages were done last year. I did this page. Oh, this is a Stanley adventure with going to see the Flint Nappers. And these are older pages. So I guess I am here. Oh, this is a secret page. I can't show you that now, but all right, so now this needs a lot around it, right? And I was thinking, now do I want to, I'm not going to print out a bazillion pictures because that would be expensive, but I do have the catalog. And can I collage a whole background of flowers? And then put this in the center. Maybe with something in the background there. And then put these little pictures. This is what I'm thinking anyway. That's what I'm thinking. So the plants are amazing. Look at this ginger. Oh my gosh, the plants, you have to be there in person. But it was just warm. It smelled so good. It was, jasmine was blooming. The jasmine was blooming and it smelled so good. Oh my gosh. So good. Well, except for one thing. There was a plant, and I didn't take the name of the plant, but it looked like what they call a century plant or a corpse plant. That's what it looked like to me. When I go back again, I'm going to have to look at that. And it stinks. And there's a sign in front of it that says, you know, stop and smell the flowers. I stink. you'd say to yourself, why would a plant stink? Well, obvious, a plant that smells like a dead rotting thing is pollinated by flies. So purposely, the plant does smell like a dead rotting thing to attract flies for its pollination. So I think, oh, I don't want to lose this. I think what I'm going to do then is just go through the catalog and rip out, you know, plants with different colors. Like here's a blue one. Oh, that's an interesting one there too. And then I'm going to put them down on this page. Oh, I didn't see this. The black bat flower. Wow. A black flower. Oh, sorry about the glare. Look at that. A black flower. Hard to see in the picture because it's dark. All right, I'm going to get distracted looking at this because, you know, I didn't look at it ahead of time. So I will be right back. I thought I would get all these ripped out, but I'm still getting distracted. This plant, I think this is the one we took a picture of Stanley in front of because it has like elephant ear leaves. I mean, the leaves were like 2 feet long and, you know, about 20 inches wide and 24 inches long. They were huge and they were beautiful. So I took a picture with Stanley to show the size of the leaves on that one. And then I got to this page, and I'm like, oh my gosh, here's the jasmine flowers. And these are the ones that were blooming. And I said, oh, I got to cut this one out. So I'm still ripping here, but I just wanted to talk about these flowers. Yeah, I can't wait to go back and do some sketching because that's one of my, I don't want to say goals, but, you know, well, maybe it is a goal. I don't want it to sound too formal. Something I'd like to do in 23. How's that? You know, then it's not like, oh, I have this goal. I have to meet this goal. This is just something I want to do more of in 23 is sketching and nature journaling and maybe some art journaling. All right, I'll be back. I ripped out enough pictures to cover the page, and then when this is all glued down and dry, I was thinking of just putting this right in the center of all these other flowers and pretty leaves. And somehow I could put these in here. Just kind of like this, I think. I did cut out some words, and I might add them around. These are from the catalog. Tropical fruiting plants, rare and unusual plants, fragrant plants, and let's see, do I have another one? I should have one more. All right. So while I'm just going to take a glue stick and glue these down, although I might put a layer of maybe matte medium on top of the catalog pages because they're going to be very thin. Not this, not this, not this, but just like this. And while I do all of that, why don't you guys just go take a nice little walk around the greenhouse and enjoy yourself a little bit. And I'll see you on the flip side. Well, you know what? The catalog pictures just laid down surprisingly well with just the glue stick. And I really don't think I have to cover this with anything. I mean, they just went down perfect. Or maybe they went down perfect because I was doing it off camera. Okay, so I'm going to put the frame right in the middle. And then the pictures will come next. Well, there it is. Yeah, what a mishmash, but I love it. I have all the catalog pictures in the background. I have my Tasha Tudor. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should write Tasha Tudor on here so I don't forget. I put the date, December 18th. I've got the sign for Logis. I got logis.com. Some words from their catalog. Flat Stanley with his terrarium with the dinosaurs in it. Let me just write Tasha Tudor on there. Okay, so now I think it's done. You know, I could always add more. But I hope you enjoyed this little field trip today to the greenhouse and my little story about Beatrix Potter and Tasha Tudor and Tova Martin, the author of the book about Tasha Tudor's garden and her connection to Logi's greenhouse. So happy junk journaling. Thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye.